J-Drone here. This is Sky Phantom Predator 2 from Holystone, and there's a look at it. Just want to show you the controller really quick here. That's how you turn it on. And as you can see, your photo, headless mode, and start and stop, auto takeoff and land. You have your trim buttons. You also have your flips and your video. But what I want to show you here, and we're going to simulate like we bound the quadcopter. It says it starts in 46. I don't believe so. I think it starts in 20, which as you can see there, now we're 22. You can actually go up in increments of 2. And when you hit 50%, it lets you know. You could go all the way up to 100. And myself, I think we're going to operate this in 50%. I'm dealing with a little bit of wind, so I'm going to be operating it right in the center when I get this actually binded to that. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm not doing, this is RTF flight, I'm not doing a camera testing, just RTF, ready to fly out of the box. No charge on that. I do have a battery charging. It came with 2, and they are 7.4 volt 500 mAh batteries, so pretty cool. Should have some power to it. Alright, just give me a second here and we'll get this started for you. Turn the drone on, turn that on, lightly throttle up and down, it's steady, and then to pair this, let's see, I think you hold this inwards, yep, then you'd be able to press the 1 takeoff key, but I think I'm going to try for a manual, and that's how you shut it down too. So we're going to take this outside and see how this flies. Alright guys, we are outside, 10-mile-an-hour wind, 32 degrees, and I told you, look at the back of that complete light bar. Not really a light bar, but 4 LEDs that will simulate a bar at nighttime. So this is definitely going to be a night flyer because there's also orientation lights underneath the arms, so you're going to be able to see it while it's overhead. You'll be able to see it while it's eye level. And look, altitude hold, it's maintaining altitude easily. Obviously it is kind of going forward just for the simple fact that I have a 10-mile-an-hour wind here. We just turned the speed up a little bit more to compensate for that 10-mile-an-hour wind. That way this thing can fly in it, and it's doing well flying in it. Zero issues as far as the wind goes. And again, 10-mile-an-hour wind, that's a constant 10-mile-an-hour wind that's pushing against us. And there's a look at the face of it. Very cool looking drone. I really haven't seen anything like this before. And there's a look at some funnels for you. Again, this is an RTF flight, ready to fly out of the box, no charge on the battery. So if you get this drone, you have to take it out. You don't want to wait until you get the battery charged. This is going to show you what type of time you're going to get if you take it out. Obviously, I'm flying in cold, 32 degrees. I'm flying in 10-mile-an-hour wind here, which is an aggressive flight, which is causing the motors to work harder than they would in a 0 wind or a 1 to 2 mile-an-hour wind. This is an aggressive flight. So that's draining quickly on the battery because it's having to compensate for the wind. I'm having to pitch harder, I'm having to fly harder, if that makes any sense. As you can see, the range on this is pretty decent. I'm not going to stretch it all the way down. I'm also not going to take it up high in altitude because again, I'm dealing with 10-mile-an-hour wind, and if you're flying in wind, you should basically adhere to the same way that I'm showing you the way I'm flying this, because if you don't, if you go extremely high in altitude, if you go way far out, there's a good possibility, 1, you're going to lose orientation if you're not familiar with your orientation. 2, a huge gust of wind or a very strong gust of wind is going to grab it, is going to flip it, it's going to tumble it, and if you're high in altitude, it's going to go. It's going to something very high in altitude dropping from the ground with a 10-mile-an-hour wind pushing against it, it's going to get some distance between you. I've only ever lost 1 drone that I have not been able to find yet, and I've lost maybe 4 or 5 total that fortunately I was able to find by flying high in altitude and wind. So I choose not to do that just because I don't want to lose any more drones. As you can see, the back light bar, the back LEDs is blinking. So we're going to bring it over here. We're going to press the auto land feature, see how that does, see if it'll actually sit down. I'm anticipating it will because it has a little bit of a wider stance than most quadcopters. There is a camera on this. We'll test that. We're not testing it now because again, wind, and there's an app for this. Bam, sat down nice. I'm J-Drone. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and have a wonderful day.